This is Napoleon Total War, Part 2, Russian Campaign. In this particular episode of the Russian campaign, you're going to not hear me talking per se about the game so much. You will see one battle that actually occurs. Otherwise, this episode is basically me supporting the Austrians, me building up the infrastructure and the resources within Russia, and adding additional troops to the existing armies, creating some additional spies from the AI and moving them to Paris. Those are the highlights of this episode in terms of the game. I hope you enjoy. Like, subscribe if you enjoy this content. Otherwise, I'm going to just discuss generalized things in terms of, potentially what someone may want in their life. I myself am a perpetual dreamer. What that means is that whether I'm sitting there next to you talking to you, my mind is also thinking about something else. And as I'm looking at the game today, I'm getting little reminders on my phone about what I would call like dream houses. Houses that if I had money, I would potentially go and live in and buy and relocate to. It's fun to dream. It's, how should we say, gives you a goal, okay? And provided the goal is reachable or attainable, it's something that you strive towards. I don't know if the house that I'm thinking about is ever attainable, but keeps me going. In the context of this episode, you're going to see the further expansion of Russia. And yeah, as I play the game, I say to myself, gee, if I was also playing Austria in addition to Russia, it would be nice to coordinate attacks. It would be nice if there was something in the Total War scheme for allies to do that. Like you basically say in January of the year 1806, you coordinate with the Austrians to make an attack on, maybe southern France, and you both move an army in that direction. That's a component that's missing from Total War, is the ability to collaborate with the AI. That would be awesome. Then you could coordinate with the Austrians and the Prussians and the English and conceptually do what was done during the Napoleonic Wars, and all of you coordinate an attack against France at some point. That's just me and my wish list. I'm curious what some of the rest of you would have liked to have seen changed in the Napoleon Total War game. I know from trying various different tactics with armies that it is impossible to basically take an army and level an army up to its possible best accuracy and reloading skill and everything else through combat. I understand from watching the chevrons go up and down roughly what's going on in terms of the way the AI is working behind the scenes. However, one thing I don't understand is in a different game, of Napoleon Total War, where I played the French. I basically created an army with Napoleon, with cuirassier, with the artillerie à pied, and the young and old guard. At best, I was able to get 5 of the guard units with 3 different chevrons. The cuirassier and the artillery was basically taking everything, all the additional pluses, to level them up. It seems like it's impossible to level up an army to its highest level, especially if it's the best troops. Now, I don't know is if there's something built into the AI that says the guard troops can only come from France, which to me makes sense. If you're hearing voices in the background, that's a friend of my daughter's come over to train our puppies. So if you hear anything in the background, that's what's going on. At some point, I might include some pictures or a short little video in the middle of the game of the puppies. So just keep that in mind, that I will be putting unique little images in the middle of the gameplay, just to keep you, for lack of a better term, surprised, awake, and wondering. Okay. Going back to perfect house, I would love to have a huge house. Okay, I'm talking like 10 or 12 bedrooms, in-ground pool, indoor theater room, office, huge game room in the basement, downstairs kitchen, multiple laundries, one in the basement, one on the main floor, one upstairs, wine room, 2 fridges, 2 stoves. I don't know how many of you others dream like that, but I like space. The room I'm videoing this from is basically a 30 by 30 master suite. It's the biggest room in the existing house. So, what else can we tell you? In terms of what's going on with the game, you can tell the Russians did a really good number on the Ottomans. They took 4 of the 5 Ottoman provinces. The Austrians did what I hoped the AI would do, which was to join the fight, and they did. And they took 1 of the provinces also. From the perspective of the game, that's wonderful for the Austrians, because now they don't have to worry about a southern, a northern, or an eastern front anymore. It's just they have to worry about the French on the west. So that's wonderful. What else can we tell you here? Just going through, building different things, trying to increase income. So watch, enjoy. What else can I tell you here? In terms of what else I've tried. One little thing to note, and I don't know how many of you have tried this, is that when you attack major cities, okay, or minor cities, but I usually do this on the major ones like Paris, London, Berlin, Vienna, Moscow. If you attack that city with 3 armies, okay, what then happens after you take it, now let's say you don't loot it, but you take it in, it rebels. The AI responds then with like 2.5 armies. If you attack it with 6 armies, the AI will respond with 4 to 5 armies. If you attack it with 8 armies, the AI will then respond with 6 to 7 rebel armies. keep that in mind if you get to a point and you're just trying to potentially try to level troops up. It becomes a mechanism to do that. So, it's just something to keep in the back of your head. What else can we tell you here? Let's see. Just trying to gain additional income here. And let's see what else. Going back to like houses, in terms of like the perfect house, I prefer like brick. So keep that in mind if you're ever willing to donate. So let's see what else. Haven't done anything wrong with Little Tartary or the other province in the north of Russia. They haven't rebelled. I've been keeping troops in there and keeping them very happy, so they're yellow or green based upon what's going on. So that's good. Let's see, what else can we tell you? Still trying to collect a ridiculous number of spies around Paris. It's going to take some time. Right now I'm not generating enough spies and gentlemen to get to where I would like to be. The other thing you'll notice is I don't, as a practice, use the map in the bottom left corner as much as I probably should. I'm used to scrolling over the screen. I'm trying to use that tool more to make the videos better for you. So as you can tell, one of the other things in terms of telling you something is that in the Total War game, the one where it's the entire world and you can pick India, Spain, South America, whatever country you want to, that's a little bit interesting to me because it creates additional, if I remember correctly, it creates additional like cities and towns as the game goes on. It'd be nice if this did that also, but it does not. It would have added a different level of complexity. It would have then forced you to potentially redistribute your troops and everything else, but not part of this game. So let's see. If you were to ask me if I enjoy this game, the answer is yes. I played this game on easiest level, medium levels, hard levels. I still struggle with Austria. As Austria, I'm still in the back of my head trying to figure out what the best move is for them so that they can secure their borders and continue in the game. And from my perspective, securing borders doesn't necessarily mean the Austrian borders. In my mind, it might mean relocating the Austrian provinces to Italy or Spain and then moving up from there against the French. Because being in the middle and having countries on all sides of you is very, very difficult to defend. I'm starting to get to the point here with the Russians where I can move forward and help the Austrians by pushing back in Bavaria or potentially, like northern Italy or something like that. So keep that in mind as you're watching. Let's see. Not trading with a lot of different countries right now. Some of the countries I could trade with are probably not a good choice, because a lot of that trade is going to be appropriated by the French or the Spanish. But a few dollars is better than no dollars in the context of the game. Let's see. The French have taken northern Italy, taken Tyrol, so they're right next to Vienna at this point. It's gonna be challenging. Let's see what else is going on here. As you can tell, we are accumulating a number of gentlemen. Novgorod. Apologies for not pronouncing it 100% correct. And we're going to try and assassinate someone here. And that was successful. One spy. I can only go after one gentleman a turn. Have any of you, while playing this game, ever ended up with all of your military troops, artillery, cavalry, generals, infantry, showing up as kitty cats with pirate hats? I'm just curious. And when I say that, I don't mean in the battle itself, I mean on the main screen. What else can we ask you here? As you can tell, I'm not trying to build a lot of naval trade at this point, because the ports that I have and the income that I have do not lend themselves to me being able to create a naval fleet large enough at this point in time to defend against the French and Spanish navies. I'm going to, before I do that, I would need to take one of them out of the game or control most of the ports for trading and the construction of naval warships in the Mediterranean. Trying to get another one. Nope. And every once in a while, your assassin will be killed. Not quite sure what the game mechanic is behind determining how that's done. Let's see, what else can we tell you here? Just building up. Nothing magical here. I know at some point I'm going to need to build up significantly in Moscow if I want to be able to continue down the tech tree. I do enjoy having rockets. Okay. Typically when I play any country, I go with what I call a balanced army. A balanced army to me is one general, 4 pieces of artillery, 2 to 4 pieces of cav, and the rest line infantry. Based upon which level you are playing at, be leery against playing against AI Russians. AI Russian armies tend to be more heavy on cav, which means that, and the AI from my perspective does a good job. The cavalry, when it's AI Russian heavy, they tend to move down both of your flanks and basically attack you from the flank or the rear, which is what I would do too, but that part of the AI is written nicely, and I've also seen the French do it too. I myself go for a balanced approach. Let's see what else. I don't tend to use light infantry. I tend to avoid them. Typically, I also do not create field fortifications because they become a hindrance in battle, because they lock you to a frontage. Basically, you put your fortifications down and you can only base in that direction at the beginning of the battle. It limits you somewhat. It gives you additional defense, but it limits you. So it's something I may go back and try again in the future. Let's see what's going on the map right now. Nothing new. One other thing I can mention is once as the Russians, instead of finishing off the Ottomans, the Austrians did that for me. As the Russians, I invaded southern Italy and took like the Papal States and southern Italy. That was not a bad strategy either, because it also gave me some additional income, and it also gave me an additional college. Just something to think about. If you ever start a game with a gentleman's club, remember, a gentleman's club could be a gentleman's club or a college. Let's see. Just a lot of building going on, positioning, trying to figure out what to build, what not to build. Just general decisions, okay? One other thing we can say here. As a content creator, I have also, in addition to playing games, painted miniatures years ago, which I collected and I still have a number of. I play games at a tabletop level. What that means is miniatures with rules against other people. That I find very interesting, because what that does is you're playing against an actual person who you may be able to, how do I explain this? Know their personality, so you might be able to predict how they're going to react. But typically when you're in that environment, people throw you for curves, okay? It's the difference between that and playing this game here. A lot of this can be predictable, okay, in terms of how the AI will react in different situations, where it will attack, what kind of an army you're going to go up against. You do that on a tabletop, and it can change from day to day based upon who you're playing against. It's like playing against a different AI every day. In the Napoleon Total Wars, you play against the same AI that's built into the game every time you play. So what I'm trying to convey is that tabletop gaming has more of a challenge built into it, and it also has a lot of fun banter that goes back and forth with the different people that play the games. And that's very enjoyable. It allows you to build connections, make friends. Let's see what's going on. Well, if you've been watching the battle as opposed to listening to me, you saw that the French took Vienna. And me being the nice person that I am, I went and took Vienna back from the French. I don't want to keep Vienna, so I'm going to move my army out, send it somewhere else, and hopefully the Austrians will come take it when it rebels, okay? I don't want it, okay? It's not something if this was truly historical and the French took Vienna and the Russians came along and took it back, the Austrians would just take it back from the Russians without question. It wouldn't be a fight. They would just walk in and it would be theirs again. The game should allow things like that to happen if they're offered, okay? So that's, I guess, something else that is not in the game that I would have liked to have seen. Because I'm not quite sure how the AI interprets a Russian army sitting in Vienna. You know, it says, you know, that the Austrians and the Russians are very friendly, but if I had an army of occupation in my capital city, I wouldn't be that friendly. But, you know, game designer versus, you know, historical miniature person is a little bit different. So let's see. I'm trading with a lot of people. My enemies are who I expect. My allies are who I expect. So all of that's good. See, they don't want it back. I don't understand that part. Let's see what else is going on here. Austrians are just repositioning troops. Another spy, good. Let's get that spy over to Paris. Make me happy. At some point in a later episode of this, you will see how devastating agents can be against research. Let's see what's going on here. We're back in Moscow. It's getting a guy for the city. Let's see what else is going on. One of the other things, it's nice that they give you these little pop-up windows that tell you little things that occurred in history. One thing that they don't do is they don't tell you, or there's nothing in the game that shows their effect on the different countries. My perfect example of that would be the re-invasion of the British into America in the War of 1812. I would think that that would have caused a certain number of British naval vessels, a change in their trading income with the Americas, repositioning of some armies to the Americas, but the game doesn't take that into account either. It should, though. That wouldn't be hard to accomplish. And then when the war is over, the war is just over. So that's just something else that would have been nice for the designers of the game to put in. As you can tell, there are a lot of gentlemen in there, and they are all Russian, which is a wonderful thing. Gonna have to build these different things up in Moscow at some point. Having Vienna is nice because it throws me an extra, I'm gonna guess, 2,500 to 3,000 extra a turn to spend to build myself up on the infrastructure side, resource side. So that's all good. Just building up different things, spending money. Nothing magical about any of that. Let's see what else is going on here. As I'm sitting here, basically going down my wish lists for different things, one of the other things that would have been interesting to have them put in the game, and I'm sure there may have been some historical records, winters are mild, normal, or harsh. If there was a harsh winter, it would have been nice to have something incorporated into the game for the attrition to be much more severe in that particular year. Just a thought also, especially when you have historical records to reference like they do with the pop-ups, like I said. And the further north you go, and this is something I haven't looked at, if I have an army in, let's say, the lower portion of Russia, and it's being attritioned, and let's say it's a unit of line infantry versus a unit of line infantry further north in Russia in the winter, are they being attritioned at the same number, or the further up you go, the further north, are they being attritioned at a higher rate because it's colder? That's how my mind works. I like the game. You know, it's easy to, say, I wish it could have done this, but, you could sit there with the game designers for years and years and years and years. You keep saying, add this, add this, add this, add this, and never actually get out another mod of the game because you would keep adding onto the list. So I understand and I accept the game for what it is. Let's see, what else could we ask for in terms of a wish list? As I look at the game, just in terms of a graphic, that they did a real nice job with like the farms and like the mines and the towns. It would have been a nice little thing if there was a fort around the town, if they actually showed that on the map. It would have just been a nice, cool little graphic to see. Because otherwise, you go there, you click on it, and it just looks like a town, and then you get the idea. So that would have been nice. They did smoke out of the factories. I don't know why they couldn't do the fortifications. So let's see here then. Each country has their own main general, Napoleon, Wellington, etc. And I get that those generals have more of an effect on morale and AI deployment in battle than a lesser general. And that I 100% agree with. I don't agree, 100% do not agree that if I have a full army and I run into Napoleon and one unit of line infantry that they're going to inflict 500 or 600 casualties to my army. That's just not right. Let's see, what else can we tell you? The other thing I find wrong, and I'm just going to say wrong, is when you get to what I would call indirect artillery, like mortars and rockets. If I target a unit and I fire the rockets and the unit moves, the rockets or mortars continue to target the same unit. It's like they're guided missiles. That's not right. That makes mortars and rockets overpowered in the game. So it's another one of those little things that's on my wish list. It shouldn't be that way. You should target an area, and that's the area you should fire at, and if there's troops in it, you hit them. If they're not, you don't. Let's see. What we have here now is a battle. This is the battle I was talking about at the beginning of this video. With me, I'm going to fight Napoleon's troops, and typically I always put my artillery in the center of my line. Then I intermingle my line infantry with it, and I put my cavalry on the flanks. Yes, if you know anything about tactics or how the game works, that's not necessarily the best thing to do, because what the game likes to do is it likes to send cavalry down the flank and try and outflank you. Don't forget, in the context of the game, you have the opportunity with your infantry to form squares. Okay? And I don't think the square is as effective as it actually was during the Napoleonic Wars as the game allows it to be. I think it's underrated. Alright, now what's going on here is there's a unit of guard coming forward and what Napoleon had in the beginning. So this is going to be a little bit of a challenge because Napoleon's on the board. The game by default gives ridiculous bonuses just because Napoleon's on the board in terms of morale and everything else. That unit of guard troops I'm going to probably have to knock down to like 8 or 9 guys before it leaves the board. They also have a lot of cavalry, they have reserves coming on. So overall I'm probably outnumbered in this battle, which is not necessarily a good thing for me, but I'm just going to try and hold the line and see what happens. And hopefully, you know, I win the battle. If I don't, I don't. I'm actually surprised that, well, actually I'm not surprised. Napoleon tends to come right down the middle. If his troops would have all been on the board at the beginning, he would have repositioned his army much quicker than I could reposition mine to flank me on one side of the battlefield. So, you know, so that's just one thing to keep in mind. Keep in mind that as your troops are attacked, it's important to switch from ball shot to canister as your targets get closer. That's what will keep your artillery alive in the middle. On the end of a line, you only have the cavalry to support them. Once that cavalry is gone, your artillery is done for. So keep that in mind also. What else is going on here? A lot of French troops coming forward still. This is the guard I was talking about. 60 out of 75. Wow. They're gonna shoot me up good because their accuracy is better than mine. that's going to make it possible for me to beat them is they attacked at a point in the line where my artillery can fire canister at them. They would attack further to their right. I would be hard pressed. The other thing I don't understand is that, you know, as I look at the map, I see what, 1, 2, 3, 4 guns. You know, this is something that I would have loved to have seen incorporated, especially when it was Napoleon in charge of an army, is that the artillery gets consolidated, basically all put together on one side or on one flank to try and blast a hole through the opponent's line. But the AI doesn't do that when Napoleon is on the field. It would have been devastating to, you know, anybody else if they would have done that. I couldn't imagine, you know, having one of my flanks fired up by 4 or 5, you know, French artillery pieces. It would have absolutely crushed one of my flanks. Now we're going against these Fusiliers here. The guard did break. The rest of his infantry is slowly coming forward. And Napoleon is still alive. He's further in the back. This particular battle, because I knew it was Napoleon and his troops were going to come forward, I didn't snipe. By snipe, I mean specifically target Napoleon in the beginning to try and weaken the overall morale. Just wasn't in my best interest to do it. This time I'm just going to have to do my best. They also had a lot more cavalry than I did. From a cavalry perspective, I haven't taken any casualties yet. We've taken some artillery hits. I consider this to be very, very lucky because a lot of the troops I'm going up against right now are much better accuracy, much better melee, much better reloading than me in this battle. So let's see what else is going on here. You can hear some barking in the background. That's one of the puppies barking. Let's see. Now, if this was a full French army, they would have consolidated the 4 or 5 units of troops and just rushed forward and poked a hole in my line. You got to be leery of that when you're fighting full French armies that like to do that. Your best option then is to hopefully snipe their leader and reduce their morale. So these 2 units are going to break soon, and they're not going to get close enough to do any effective damage against me here. So, you know, that's... Okay, one of them is... And when you're firing at units, keep in mind that as long as it has a flag above it, it can rally and turn around and rejoin the fight, which is not necessarily something that you want to see happen if you think you've broken a unit. It's okay. I'll be down in a minute, okay? That's okay. So, still just going through. I don't understand why, like, leaders ride back and forth. That, to me, that makes no sense. Especially right now. There's no one for him to even rally, and he's not even trying to rally anyone. The AI makes no sense there. Let's see here. Yeah, a lot of my units have taken, you know, almost 50% casualties. So let's see what's going on here. Still has some cav on the board. So we're going to need to get rid of that somehow. Back to ball shot. try and take out his artillery. No, not yet. Don't do it yet. Take out this cav first. Can't tell what kind of cheval. Canister fires, it'll be devastating. I expect that cav to turn around and come back. It's just the way the AI works. Hiding in the woods right now. Gonna turn around any second. Here it comes. Reordered itself, it reorganized. Here it comes with a charge. Yeah, they're not gonna make it. Flag's gone means the unit is totally destroyed. Or that it's ineffective and will not recover from a morale purpose. Alright. Now I got Napoleon, some artillery on the right. Up. There's another unit of cav moving across the field. They're going slow though, okay. Just so you know, one of the reasons I'm playing this battle on slow is so you can get an idea for how the troops move. And how the AI moves. If you ever want to see their cavalry charge, you just fire on the artillery, and the cavalry charges forward. Yeah, they're toast. It's moving the artillery forward. Not nice. Okay, at this point, you know, his cav has been destroyed. Just have artillery and Napoleon left on the board. So I'm attacking at this point. Try and finish up this battle. As you can tell, having fresh units with lances is devastating. There's two other units left on the board here. Yeah, and I'll say it again. If you would have put all of that artillery together, if the AI would have done that, it would have been devastating. Battle's over. A rebellion in Austria, yay. Let's see, that's an auto resolve. I think we'll keep this one. But now we're gonna have to heal. Staying up there is gonna take too long to heal. So we need to reposition. Province I'm going to has a Austrian supply house in it, so we'll heal faster there. So that's a good thing. So it's a wonderful thing. So let's see here. build up some more infrastructure, spend some more money. A general question to those that are nice enough to watch these videos. As you've played these games and you've played them beyond their expected end, what's the most income you've received on a turn-by-turn basis from the game? I'm just curious. So give me a shout out, let me know. Thanks. Let's see here. What else we have going on here? Nothing magical there. Let's see what else doesn't happen here in terms of the context of the game. You have the ability in battle to turn off the battle timer, which I always do. Because in real warfare, well, let me back up one. A turn in this game is what looks like 2 weeks in length, okay? A battle, typically, or some of the battles in the Napoleonic Wars, went on for several days, which means that from a historical standpoint, from a gaming standpoint, the battles lasted longer than an hour. Okay, so I turned the timer off. What I would like to see, though, is that, you know, like the battle starts at a particular time of day or at a variable time of day, and then as the day goes on, it gets darker. And then you can continue fighting, or you stop fighting and you pick up the battle the next day. That would have been really cool, too. You know, they have fog in some of the battles. I don't know why they couldn't do that too. Let's see what's going on now. I still hold Vienna. Even though the province is in rebellion, I still hold Vienna. I want the Austrians to come and take it back. I don't want it. I don't want to be on the front line against the French. So let's see what else is going on. Nothing too dramatic in the south. You know, Russia, for the most part, can't be touched by the French. If I was the French at this point, and I was playing them, and this is how the AI was playing Russia, I would take a couple of armies, put them on boats, and go and invade southern Russia. The sheer damage something like that could do, like in March of any year, would be devastating, and the Russians probably would not recover from that. Alright, let's see. Austrians have Venice. I have Vienna. Let's see what else is going on here. I'm holding 2 Austrian provinces, only one of which I want. Technology. Can't do a lot of building of anything right now. Need to accumulate money to get some of these things. Okay, nothing too spectacular there. If you already hadn't noticed, I don't have like a dedicated room to do videos for you. So you will hear the family, the pets occasionally in the background. I do not apologize for that. Let's see what else is going on here. Where's all my guys? All my agents are gone. Not good. Where did they all go to? So let's say, just looking for different ways to move up the economic chain here. Not going to see too much of that right now. Yeah, and with the way the AI plays the English is... How do I explain this? The English, for being a naval power, do not secure the English Channel in the North Sea. If they did, the French would have no recourse but to concentrate all their navy in the south. But the way the AI plays for the English sometimes, the French can have a presence in the English Channel or in the Atlantic. Let's see what else is going on here. For some income. Let's see what we can do there for income. Take the income. Alright, where's he gonna go? Is he healed? More powerful artillery. We're getting back close to Paris again. Alright, not bad. The army's actually looking pretty good, which is wonderful. Back to assassination we go. Take the 43. No, the 38. Really? Lucked out there. Let's see what else is going on here. Back to a winter month, which is my friend, which is good. December, January. For this entire game up to this point, that Swedish gentleman has just been standing there doing what? I have no idea. So let's see what else. I played games before where the French had what I would call ghost cities other than Paris. What I mean by that is as the French move forward, they leave no army presence in any of the provinces they have occupied or captured. I don't know if the AI is learning, but what I've seen is that they're leaving armies in the provinces they now take. I don't know if that's for suppression reasons or whatever, but it's more realistic. Let's see. What is everyone's opinion on whether you get more income from conquering a province versus making it a protectorate and then trading with it? I don't know if you guys have any numbers to support anything either way, but I'd be curious. Let's see. Battle deployment. Nah. Compare that. Gotta push the French back further, they're still too close. What are the Prussians doing? Absolutely nothing to help. Nothing. Let's see what's next. Let's see what else we need to do here. We're going to figure out some other stuff to do, get some additional trade income from doing that, which is a good thing. So that's good. What else we have going on then? Some other stuff. 900 something, 9 and change. Okay. Why is he standing there? I'm sure I'll forget about him. That's okay. Alright, let's see. Austrians are moving, English, Saxons. Let's see who else is moving now. Who's moving? Yes, burning down a college will slow it down too. You can't do research while your building is burning. But one thing that alright, how do I explain this? If I have an agent in an army and I fight against that army that has the agent in it, and I totally wipe the army out, the agent is dead. If my agent is in a building that catches on fire, there is nothing in the game, there is no probability of the agent dying or any gentleman in the college or university dying either because of the fire. That should also have been part of the game. French can afford to have two armies standing in Paris. I can't do that. I have to do that to move up the tech tree. So, moving along here. Anything else you guys would have liked on your wish list? Let's see here. Just trying to think. Nothing dramatic going on here right now. I control too much of Austria. I really do. I need to give it away. The other thing I'm trying not to do is to give the AI Prussians a reason to attack Russia. What that means is I am not creating a large military presence on the Prussian eastern border. Bavaria. It rebelled and nothing happened. Wow. Okay, good. It's one less we have to worry about. Let the Austrians defend it. As you can tell, I'm realistically just sitting here playing the game. I'm not trying to give you highlights, I'm just playing through the game, slow but sure, letting you see everything that I do. I hope some of it's helpful. Let's see what else we can do here. Not enough money, so yeah, we're just short of getting a general. Okay. What else? Slow but sure. Storms at sea would be nice too. Many a time a storm in history has damaged or devastated a fleet at sea. There's nothing in the game for that either. Would have been nice to have seen something for that. Okay, what are we gonna do as the Russians? Oh, Tyrol is undefended. Oh, there's a full Spanish army though. Fish them off. Fell short. Game can't see me though. Build a few more things here. I think gonna be winding this episode down here in a few minutes. As you can tell, it's what, 2 years into the game, French haven't progressed that far. I've been supporting the Austrians very well so far. So keep that in mind in terms of the original strategy that I told you I was going to try. What else? Continuing to move up the tech tree. Let's see what else we got going on. I can't think of anything else right now. Remember, if you like this content, please click like, please click subscribe. And if you leave any comments, I will do my very best to reply to them in a reasonable amount of time. Makes no logical sense that the rebels haven't retaken Vienna. No. I have no troops. Zero. Something else that would have been nice to have been in the game is if a building starts burning, the longer it burns, the harder it is to rebuild, which I've seen. But it should also be allowed to burn down to the ground when there's nothing there anymore, if it burns for X number of turns. That would have also made sense too.